Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the replay. Welcome to Daily Fuel. My name is Bobby, and I am the host of this group, The Spiritual Artist Quantasy, and thank you for being on this quantum odyssey with me here in Facebook land. Hello, Ray. How are you? You're live today, and you're the first commenter today. That's cool. I guess the first comment wars have ceased because nobody seems to be fighting for them anymore. And so if you're watching in the replay, unlike Ray, unless Ray you come back and you're watching in the replay now, then do me a favor and write some hashtags. Hashtag I am in the replay. Hashtag I missed the live. Hashtag replayer. Hashtag something. Make one up. I like the ones you guys are making up. Brandy was making up some cool ones today. She was watching a couple of older Daily Fuels today, and she made up some new. Hello, there she is. Hi. Hello, Brandy. How are you? I liked your hashtags today. They were very nice. And Crimson is here. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you guys. So yeah, if you're live with me right now, you guys can start commenting now. You can comment through the whole thing. If you're new here, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to read through my spiel. I don't read it. It's just some notes. I've got some things I want to talk about today. And I'm going to ignore the comments while I'm doing my thing. And then I'm going to come back to the comments and I'm going to read them all. And by the time I read your comments, sometimes so much time has passed that I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I also think you guys are just a little weird. But Kirsten is here in the live, and should I analyze your words? Sure. and Amy is here. Hello, everyone. Feels like a good day to send tons of love. Yes, it does. And Heather is here. I made it. Yay. Yes, you did. And let's begin. Paralysis by analysis. Have you ever heard that phrase? I've known that phrase a long time, but sometimes I think that I know a thing and everybody knows it. So I don't know if you've never even heard that phrase before, or if you've heard it a million times. What does it mean? It means that you're trying to do a thing, you're trying to start a project, you're trying to figure out next steps, first steps, what you want even. And you're not doing anything because you're spending all your time analyzing your choices and none of your time actually doing anything. So it's paralysis. You're not moving. You're not getting anything accomplished by analysis. I'm just spending all my time. I'm researching. I'm figuring it out. I'm just going to kind of think about it and work through all the variables in my head. This happens to individuals and it happens in organizations. Certainly you can have meetings upon meetings upon meetings about what this thing you're doing should be and look like or talk or sound like or whatever. And never gets done or never gets started because the meetings and the analysis never end. But we can do it as individuals. We can do it as artists. We can do it as parents. We can do it as anything. In any role that you play in life, we can suffer from paralysis by analysis. And to me, there's kind of two ways to do it. One is you don't know what to do. And maybe you have choices or you can't think of anything. As Hector said today, I have a million things that I want to do. And then as soon as it's time to do one, I can't think of any of them. So there's that. But usually paralysis by analysis is primarily should I do it this or should I do this? Or secondly, you don't know how to do it. What's the first step? Should I do it this way or should I do it that way? If I do it this way, then this could happen. But if I do it that way, then that could happen. And here's a good example of paralysis by analysis for me was whether or not to get rid of Adobe and use different programs. Because I didn't really love Adobe all that much, but I had them. And there were some things about them that I liked. And of course, I know how to use them. So, using something else would require a learning curve. But as luck would have it, or as fate would have it, or whatever word you like, the universe kind of gave me a kick in the ass yesterday. I was trying to do something, and a process that I do all the time, they just decided, we don't support that anymore. That feature's gone. And my entire workflow was predicated on that one feature. It was like, step one, do that thing, and then do everything else based on what you did in that thing. And they went, that first thing that you do, that it's not there anymore. So once that happened, and I realized now I have to figure out a different way to do this thing that I do, it became very easy for me to decide, well, let me get rid of Adobe. But see, I had paralysis by analysis, and my indecision kept me stuck where I was. I've thought for a very long time, gee, it would be great to get rid of them. Because it's really not the greatest stuff anymore, and it's so expensive. You have to pay monthly. You're basically renting out their apps, whereas the ones I bought today, the ones that replaced them, they were all on sale today. It just so happened, right? I went into the App Store and look at that, 50% off. So I got these apps for $25 a piece, and for $25, I own them forever. Whereas Adobe, I've been paying $60 a month to rent these apps, and if I stop paying, I don't get the apps anymore. So man, did that make it really easy. Anyway, so I've got 3 ways to get over this. Here they are. Number 1, this one is really good with the how. If you don't know how to get started, what's the first step? A lot of times I think what happens is we try to imagine this entire thing being done. We get overwhelmed because it's such a large thing that's ahead of us. And we're looking at it as like, I have to take this giant leap and complete the entire thing in one process. And that isn't usually true at all. So figure out how to take micro steps, not even little steps, not even like what's the first step, just what's a micro step. A micro step could be, let me open this application and just look at it. Let me open this up and create a new file. Let me go, if I want to do a painting and I don't know what to paint or I don't know how to do that thing, let me go to Michael's and buy a freaking canvas. That's not that hard. You can just go to the store and buy the canvas, or get it. Let me just go buy a new brush. Take a micro step, something that just moves you in that direction. What is that baby step, And sometimes you can even automate these. Here's an example. When I do websites for clients, I realized years ago that there were steps that I did for every single client that were identical, and I was doing them all the time. And I realized that's silly because that really wastes a lot of time. So I created an automated process so that all I have to do, I can do the same thing now in a fraction of the time. So for me, what happens is sometimes I'll feel overwhelmed by this project that I have to do for a client. So the baby step that I can take that moves me in that direction is the automatic process is just press the button and get the whole platform set up, because I already did all the work to set up my client platform the way that I need. And it's not literally pressing a button. There's still some stuff to do, but it's mindless. It's like it's the same for everybody, except now instead of it taking 3 days, I've done all the work and templated it so that I can do it in 15, 20 minutes, and it's just, I don't even have to think about it. And at least now I feel like, wow, I just got like 50% of this project done because it's all this stuff that I have to do. That's like the foundational work, except the foundational work is the same for everybody. So, I just figured out a process, and you could figure out some kind of micro step that you can take. If it's an art project, is there something that you always do for art projects? Do you always have to go get to the store and get new stuff? Do you always have to prime your material the same way? Just figure it out and know that, well, if I'm feeling overwhelmed about this scope or the size or the timing of this project, at least I know I can just do that. And it kind of just moves you along, and now you've got a little momentum. So that's number 1. Number 2 is sometimes we're sitting there trying to figure out what to do. Like, I don't even know what to work on next, or I don't even know what the first step would be. I can't even take a micro step because I can't even fathom which one it is. Or it's a choice of 2 or more things, and whichever one I choose now is going to set me on a completely different path. I could go down this path or I could go down that path, but whichever path I go down, forget it. I can't go back, So what I like to do there is kind of give myself a time limit. Okay, I'm going to let myself think about this for 5 minutes or 10 days. The time doesn't really matter. What it is, though, is that you're kind of setting a limit where you're saying, I'm going to think about this for the next hour, and at the end of that hour, I'm going to set a timer. That's an egg timer where you turn the thing, because I'm 1,000 years old, right? You turn the timer and you put that down, and or you can use your app on your phone. That also works, right? And then when that thing dings, ding, time's up. and just choose one. And here's the thing: a wrong decision. Oh, I should have gone this way, but I chose that way. The wrong decision is almost always better than indecision, because indecision, then you've done neither and you've got no momentum and you've learned nothing. At least if you go down the wrong path, you're going to learn some lessons and be like, you know what, this was a complete waste of time. Let me go do this one now. And you might feel like, I spent all day doing the wrong one. But you could have, if you stayed in indecision, spent a week in indecision. And instead of losing a day doing the wrong thing, you lost a week doing no thing. So don't do that. So that's number 2. And number 3 is practice. Practice this. Practice it with decisions that don't matter. For example, here's a really great one. When I started my business, I took some sales training courses, and they were trying to get across that you will sell things the way you buy things. Meaning that you're going to attract customers that act the way you act when you're a customer. So if you go to buy things and you're like, I don't know, it could be this, it could be that, let me see it in that color, blah, blah, blah. If that's the way you are when you buy things, you can expect that your customers are going to be like that. But if you can go into a thing and be like, I want that one and I want it wrapped up to go and I want it now, then you can expect to get customers or clients that behave like that. So they used to teach us, if you're the former, you're the one who's always indecisive when buying things, if that's you, then here's a really great little tip. Go to a restaurant and open the menu, look at it for 5 seconds, close the menu and say, I want that thing, and order that thing, and that's it. You're eating that thing. It's not going to be bad. You're not going to be poisoned. The next time you could come back and be like, I really should have gotten that other thing. So you get it the next time, right? But this isn't about what food you like. It's about learning to make a snap decision. Open the menu, look at it, go, that, close the menu, and don't look at it again. Hand it to somebody else. Put it on at the next table. They don't care. Just put it right on their table, right? They'll be fine. They'll know what you're doing. Oh, he or she must be learning how to make snap decisions and does not want the menu anymore. Sure, you can put it on our table. That's what they're going to say. Don't worry about it. Everybody knows this. So, but just do that. And it's just a practice thing. And it doesn't have to be just a menu at the restaurant. It could be anything. It could be like, which path should I take to get to the place that I'm going? Which road should I go down? Just make a snap decision. It doesn't matter which one. Oh, darn, this one has traffic. Have you ever done that? It's like, I have to go to this place. Should I take that route or should I take that route? And you might sit there for 15 minutes trying to figure out which route you could take so that it's faster. If you had just gotten in the car and gone either way, you'd get there faster than sitting there trying to determine which one, because you're freaking some gypsy that can know this stuff. A gypsy? Not a gypsy. I'm sorry. That was a weird word. All right. You're some fortune teller that can know this stuff. And just, we don't know these things, but you're wasting time trying to predict the future when if you just did one thing, you'd probably waste less time. So there's that. So those are the 3 things. Take micro steps. Give yourself a time limit if you're trying to determine what to do next, and practice this. Practice making snap decisions on things that don't really matter all that much. Should I do this or should I do this? I'm just doing this. It doesn't matter, right? And then when the bigger ones come up, you've practiced. You've got the muscle memory of how to do this. I'm done. I'm making the decision right there. Let's go to the comments because, man, do I see some essays there. All right, let's see. We got Ray and Brandy and Crimson and Kirsten and Ray and Amy and Heather and Amy and Peter. Hey, what's up, man? Good times. Crimson says, I get paralysis sometimes if I try to plan out my artwork. I'm going to take a sip of water if you don't mind. I was going to try to do that thing where you talk and mumble stuff, but I couldn't even make a sound, so that didn't work. I get paralysis sometimes if I try to plan out my artwork. Yeah, I've told this story before, how if I'm editing videos, I don't really plan them out because I could get paralysis trying to plan them out. Even if I'm writing stuff, I don't plan it. I don't outline stuff that much. I just start at the beginning and go. And if I find that I'm going in a direction that's, I didn't mean to go here, I just back up and, to the last place where I was heading in the right direction and go a different route from there. 99% of the time it comes out great. Sometimes I go off into the bushes and I can't figure it out, and so then I just give up. I go do something else. Today wasn't the day for this. But most of the time that's how it works. I could literally just plan things till the cows come home and then never get it done if I allowed myself to do that. Unfortunately, sometimes I do because I forget. I'm not perfect, but right? But sometimes I mess up. Oh my God, I have been there. Paralysis by analysis, yes. Yeah, I think we've all been there. Rose, yes. To Crimson Rose, yeah. Overanalyzing the situation. Yeah. That's really it. It's overanalyzing. Some analysis is okay. It's like you have to. Even if you're doing the menu thing, I didn't say don't even look at the menu and just be like, give me a hamburger, and they're like, this is a pizza place, dude. It's like I'm not saying that. Look at the menu, but give yourself a minute. Don't look at it for 20 minutes and be like, we haven't decided yet. Can we get some more breadsticks? Thank you. No, don't do that. Just make a decision. It doesn't matter. The food's either going to be good or bad no matter what you get on the menu. It's not like they make this really good, but this thing is inedible. Usually. Do you like that breadsticks thing? I almost made myself laugh on that. Paralysis by familiarity. Oh, that's interesting. Being or using the same thing because we are used to it. Have been doing it that way for ages. That's from my Adobe story a moment ago, right? Yeah. I can analyze. Here's how I thought. That's really good. Thank you. So I could stick with what's familiar, or I could do this new thing. Well, the familiar thing, obviously, it's familiar. I know how to do it. I'm comfortable with it. Yeah, it's got some drawbacks, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like this, and I don't like that. But this new thing, I don't even know if it fixes all those things. I don't really know, but I know that it doesn't cost as much. I know that I won't be having to pay a monthly fee for it. I know that I won't be having to do this and do this and do this and have all these problems with it. And I know that all these people have switched and love it and say it fixed all my problems. So, but there's a learning curve, and let me watch some more YouTube videos on this for the next 16 months, and then I'll make a decision. Yeah, good one. Familiarity. That's interesting. Oh, great. Richard's here. Don't push my buttons today, dude. I'm not in the mood. I'm teasing. What apps did you replace Adobe with? That, you know what? I'm going to do a post on that because I know I'm not the only one. I know Kirsten was interested in this, but I'm sure that there are other people using Adobe that would like to learn what I did. For the graphic design, I'm just going to do this real quick. I use their graphic design apps, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign for various things. And there's a company called Affinity, Affinity, that has basically a Photoshop, an Illustrator, and an InDesign clone. It's like the same program but better in many, many ways. And instead of paying for Adobe Creative Cloud I was paying $60-something a month for this thing. You buy these apps one time. They're $50 each, but right now they're on sale. Literally right now. I just went to the App Store and look at that. They're $25 a piece, and I just went buy. I bought all three. And I also use Adobe Premiere and sometimes After Effects a little bit. I never really got into After Effects for my video editing. I never liked Premiere, but I used it because it was included in my Adobe thing, and I didn't feel like buying Final Cut Pro. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to switch back to Final Cut Pro. I used to use the old version, but then they came out with Final Cut Pro 10, which was a completely different program, and you had to buy it all over again. And so I was like, I don't really want to buy it right now. It's $300. It's not exorbitantly expensive, but I didn't feel like shelling out $300. So I was looking at it and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll buy. I don't really need it right this second today, but I looked at the website and there is a free trial, and it's a 90-day free trial. So I was like, I'll definitely be getting this. So, and then there's that, and that's basically all I use from Adobe. Robin, hi Robin. Hello, like Jello, and there are my flowers. Thank you. Baby steps. I like that idea. Yeah, baby steps, micro steps even. Just paralysis by analysis literally means you're not moving, but a micro step is is worlds of difference. It's not like it's 1,000 times better, because times zero, anything times zero is still zero. But so it's infinitely better because now you've gone from being paralyzed to movement. Even the slightest movement can build and build and build and build, but you need that first little nudge to get that movement going. Otherwise, inertia will keep you paralyzed, or if you take a micro step, inertia can help you keep moving. So inertia, another great daily fuel topic. Heather, did I skip? No. Heather, not knowing what steps to take can definitely feel like a mental block. It really can. And I think the thing is that sometimes we know the steps we can take. We just can't pick them because we're afraid of the results if we choose the wrong one. But we have the ability to make the wrong decision right. We have the ability to make it right. You take a decision, you make a decision, it turns out not great, but you know what? Nothing was going to ever turn out 100% great. There was always going to be it's got that. Wow. The other thing didn't have that. Now you're going to spend the rest of your life wishing you had gone the other way. But meanwhile, the other way would have been 100 times worse for other reasons, but it had that thing. You know what I'm saying? You make the decision right. Heather, sometimes I just go. Good. Not planning sometimes turns out better for me. I think so. You know, we can plan a little bit, but for crying out loud, it's the law of attraction. It's not the law of planning. You can't sit down and make a plan for the next however long and just make and then it's like I gotta hit all these steps. You're not going to. Things are gonna happen. You know, you're gonna have a day. You're gonna have a week that just things go wrong or something, or it's not going to come out the way you expected. Or you're going to get that phone call that just takes you away from it. Now you're committed to doing something, but you got to go take care of this thing now. You know what I'm saying? The life is a thing that happens when you're busy making plans. Kirsten, so the stop making plans. Attract what we want. Instead of trying to figure out what each step needs to be, attract what we want the outcome to feel like. And then it doesn't matter which path we take, because if we're focused on that feeling, the universe is going to find a way there no matter which path we take, you know? The universe might be like, oh, the first good step for you is this way. And you're like, but I want to go this way. And the universe doesn't say, well, too bad. I wanted you to take that step. But now since you took that step, you moron, you're on your own. You can't attract anything you want anymore. No, the universe is just going to say, oh, you went that way? Okay, well, let me figure out the right way to get there from there. Right? It's like your GPS. Recalculating. Did your GPS ever do that? We used to have this GPS. It was a Garmin or something. Is that Garvin or Garmin? I don't remember. Anyway, it was that one. And if it said to turn right and you went straight, because you're just like, I don't want to go down that road, I want to take this road, it would give you this passive aggressive, it would go, recalculating. It was so... I used to go the wrong way just to hear it do that and laugh. It was hysterical. Kirsten, I have been working on my website in micro steps. Cool. I was getting flustered trying to get so many pages done at a time. I decided to make it mindless and not control, to have a list of tasks. I just pick one page and I make it great. That's cool. Or I pick one task and I do it mindlessly across all pages. It's getting something done and moving forward without worry. Excellent. That's pretty much the thing. Facebook user says, greetings. Being undecided burns time and progress. I wish I knew who that was. I don't. But who is that? Who is that? I don't know who it is. You know what? It's Shin. All right. Hi. Not clicking the link yet. Robin says, I like the turning time. I even tagged you the other day. I like the turning timers, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your comment. You don't have to click the thing. It's not like the rule or anything like that. But I'll just I'll make mental notes. Robin says, I like the turning timers. Because I'm a dinosaur, LOL. But I'm afraid there will come a day when they won't be available anymore and only digital phone thingies. Then I'll be screwed. About doing stuff for timed amounts of time. What are you, Kathy? Remember the Kathy? The Kathy comic? She'd say, all the time, right? Was that what she said? Yeah. I'm into digital stuff mostly, but some things I'm still analog. Like I have not ever had a digital like productive app like note taking and stuff like that I use for everything. I do everything on paper and pencil because I'm always like, let me try this app, and I try it and I set it all up and I'll spend like 2 hours getting it set up and and then all of a sudden I'm just like, this is annoying. I'd rather just write it with my hand. And then I do, and I delete the app. Hector, tip number 2, I tried at home versus where. Tip number 2, what was tip number 1? Oh, my tip number 2, time limit. Okay, tip number 2, I tried at home versus warehouse. It doesn't work. Lesson learned. I believe your tip could work. I have to try the timer. I'm also thinking of writing future projects on the board. Maybe that too. Gypsy, LOL. Yeah. I'm not one to use derogatory phrases about people's cultures, and that just came flying out of my mouth. That's not a normal thing for me. Kirsten said, it's like eating your frogs. Just eat a frog and make more room for more frogs. Yeah, that's a good analogy to this, or a good addendum. If you don't know what she's talking about, a month and a half, 2 months ago, I did a daily frog. I knew it. I could feel it. I knew I was going to get the giggles today. I feel like it's been... I feel like it's been pent up in me and I need to release this energy. And because yesterday I was in such a bad mood. And I could almost twice now. I was almost like I could feel it happening. That was it. Thank you. A daily frog. I did a daily fuel called Eat the Frog, and basically it was just a productivity hack where if you have things you need to do, write them down and figure out what's the most important thing you need to do that day and do it first. And the analogy is, if you had to eat a frog today, if you had to just eat a frog, right? This is the analogy. I don't know who came up with this, because eating a frog is gross, I suppose. If you had to eat a frog, just eat it first, get it over with, and then the rest of the day, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think, oh God, I have to eat that frog today. Just eat the damn frog first. And so that's the idea. I've got to do that thing. I got to call that person. I got to do that thing. Wake up and do it first thing. And then the rest of your day, it's, well, I did that thing, you know? So you can kind of think of it like this too. Sometimes the paralysis by analysis could be that you know what the next thing is, but you just don't want to do it. You're like, oh God, I'm procrastinating because I don't want to do this thing. Just do it. Just do it. Just eat the frog. And if you're not sure what the frog is, pick one. Pick a frog and eat it. I have trouble making snap decisions because so many things I have to do, have so many things that must be done before even getting to, yeah, right. And it's frustrating. Like, I want to do this, but before I can do that, I have to do that first. And before I can do that thing, I have to do that other thing, right? I'm not even reading your words, but I know what you're saying. I have to do another thing before that, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah. That you end up going in circles, right? I know. Do something. Just do anything. Next time I go to a restaurant, I'll be thinking of you in the menu. Good. Marsha is here. Hello. Good evening, Marsha. I don't know. Tonight I'm speechless. Just here to listen. Okay. That's cool too. And I guess this is Shin again. Final Cut Premiere and Pro Tools are the best. I've never used Pro Tools. I've been in studios that were using Pro Tools. I understand Pro Tools, but I use Logic Pro. That's by Apple. And because I'm all Mac here. I've always been an Apple and Mac person. But Logic Pro for audio recording is just killer. I absolutely love it. And that was one of the reasons that I've always wanted to switch to Final Cut Pro, because it's basically the same thing but for video. And they work together, and I'm just like, why am I doing this stuff in this person's apps and this stuff in this company's apps? And I hear you. Victoria's here. Hello, how are you? I'm here. Yay. I get to see the comment section. Hello, my friend. Hello. Always a pleasure to see you. And Robin says, I'm interested to, like Kirsten, in what to use. I've never bit for Adobe ever. And after wanting to buy it and found, I never bit like you, like, I don't know what that means. Like, you never went for Adobe. I get it. I know what it means. I didn't know the expression. After wanting to buy it and found it had become a subscription type thing, I just said bag it and never dealt with it, even though I wanted to. But I hate subscriptions, especially when previously it was offered as a one-time purchase. I felt highly offended. I've had a bad taste in my mouth for Adobe ever since. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you, their software was always so expensive. So every time the next one came out, it was like $1,000 for Adobe Illustrator. It was always so expensive. And I can remember when I first started, these apps were just so expensive, and there were so many of them that we would get like what's it called when you steal it? What's that called? There's a word for that. Pirated versions of it, and it was terrible. And or you'd have a version, and it's like, I remember I was using Adobe Illustrator 3 for years, and 4 came out, and then 5 came out, but I was still using 3. So then when they switched to the subscription thing, it was like upgrade and be always upgraded. It updates every year automatically. The subscription seemed to be so much less than what you'd pay to get just Adobe Illustrator, and you get everything now. So it was like, wow, I'd actually be spending a lot less money. But so for me, it wasn't so much that it was too expensive. For me, it was that they would just change things willy-nilly. Literally, the way that I'm making my graphic novel, the first thing I do is open up 3D models and position them on the stage, and then draw using the models as tools to figure out the placement of my characters and to get the dimensions of the characters right. Because if I just draw people from my head, the head's too big, the eyes are in the wrong spot. It's like I know what people look like, but I can't draw them right. So the models help me get everything placed correctly. That's step 1. And then from there, I do everything else. And then I go to do the next panel that I'm up to, and the feature that I need for step 1 is no longer, we just don't want to offer that one anymore. And to top it all off, it didn't say, like, sorry, this feature is no longer available. It says, not available because no internet connection was detected. So on top of it just deleting this thing that I need, I was on tech support to figure out why my internet connection wasn't working for 2.5 hours yesterday. And after 2.5 hours, the guy gets back on the chat and says, oh, I just found out that it's not your internet connection, it's that they no longer offer this feature. I'm like, don't you work there? Did they not tell you this? Is this a secret that we all have to figure out the hard way? So I was just like, you know what? I'm done. Where am I? Robin. I always thought it was so funny to hear recalculating by my GPS that I would sometimes go the wrong way just to hear it. Is that that's what I said. Or are you saying it as well? I loved the Kathy comic. She was so much like me, hilarious, or vice versa. I'm so much like her. I don't really remember that comic too well, but I just remember that she would go, ack, in big letters. Crimson says, eating the daily frog. That's great. A daily frog, I love it. Ribbit. Cracked copy. Yeah, that's a way to put it. And Warsed Software, I think it's. I never heard that one. When are you making your next animation? That's a really good question, and I don't know that I am. I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm just saying that I don't know when I'll be doing animations like that again, because I'm not sure that they really fit with what I'm trying to create. They might take way too long to build the thing I want to build. I might just do it as a graphic novel. So I actually, wow, what a great daily fuel to ask that question, because I have not decided and I'm kind of on the fence about it. I have decided. I don't have plans to make another animation. I'm making just as a graphic novel, but I keep saying it the way, wow, thanks for calling me out on this. I keep saying it the way I just said it out of habit because I kind of want to leave the door open to still do animation if I want. And that door is not closed, but I think what I really want is to make it as a graphic novel and build it and turn it into an animation at some point in the future when I have the resources to do it more quickly. Maybe a team of people, maybe investors, maybe it gets picked up by Netflix. You know what I mean? But I don't need to be spending hours and hours and hours a day doing animation work. That's not really my strong point. My strong point is the creation and storytelling part. That's what I really want to be doing. It rocked. Well, thanks. I like it too. It's just that it takes so friggin' long, and it's not my favorite thing. And I skipped Victoria, but thank you. I do appreciate that. Victoria, Robin, I'm so with you. I refuse to do cloud subscriptions. As a graphic designer, it was a tough pill to swallow. I was also offended. I found Affinity apps on the Apple Store. So far, not much of a learning curve, and they work similarly to Adobe's Creative Suite. I don't know if you were here a few minutes ago, but that's what I just downloaded today. They're on sale today. If anybody's interested, they're on sale today for $25 a piece. There's 3 of them. So for $75, you get all 3 of them. It's not $75 a month. It's $75. And that's that. So, yeah. And I used Affinity Photo today. I use Photoshop to make the graphic for Daily Fuel every day, and and today I just opened it in Affinity. It worked exactly the same. Maybe the button for that thing was over here instead of over here, but it's like I knew what I was looking for and I knew how to do it, and very little learning curve it seemed. Just remember that the universe has got your back, Bobby, and something will come along to replace Adobe, and it'll be awesome. Yeah, I was saying about a half hour ago that I've already replaced Adobe, and I canceled my subscription today. I have until June 3rd to get rid of it. The biggest thing that was a problem, check this out. Here's something I didn't mention. I just thought of it now. Thank you. The biggest reason I was hemming and hawing so much about getting rid of Adobe was because I had it in my head that if I got rid of Adobe, I wouldn't be able to use my PSD files and my AI files. That's Photoshop document file, PSD, and AI is Adobe Illustrator. I wouldn't be able to open them because I had heard or read somewhere when this subscription thing started, somebody wrote in something about 10 reasons not to do this stupid Adobe subscription thing. And one of the things they said was that if you go down this path, that all your files that you make, you'll never be able to use them unless you keep the subscription. They'll be useless. They won't open in other apps. And I read that. This is going back years that I read that, and I've just had that in my head the whole time. Well, guess what? It's not true. I just all the files open in Affinity. I was like, son of a bitch, are you kidding me? I had this fake reason in my head all this time, and that was one of the biggest reasons that I was not jumping ship. And then I just was like, oh, look at that, it opened. You gotta be freaking kidding me, man. Do you do that? Do you ever do that? Do you ever make up a thing in your head and then you're making plans around this thing that you've made up in your head and it's not even true? Just me? I don't know. Anyway, so yes, Crimson, you're absolutely right. Donna, Victoria, hello, my beautiful friend. You guys are a blast from the past. Hello, my beautiful. Okay, you guys saying hello to each other, and I don't have to read that. And I loved your fuel on eating frogs. So helpful. I had a long I am about each of us promising to eat our frogs. What's an I am? An instant message? What is that? What is that? What is it? A long I am? I don't know what that means. I think it might have been with Crimson. Oh, you had a long message back and forth with Crimson about eating frogs. Okay, I got you now. I did miss that part of the live. I am liking Affinity. Yes, I just got it today, and I'm very excited about it. And I was also saying that instead of using Adobe Premiere, I'm going to go back to Final Cut Pro. So I'm excited about that as well. Really? They all open in Affinity? That's friggin' fantastic. Yeah, it is friggin' fantastic. Yeah, it even says right on their website that the designer has capabilities to open AI files. Actually, I haven't tried that one, but I opened my PSD file in Affinity Photo, and it opened up, and all my layers were there, and it even had like I have text layers with effects on it, like overlay or soft focus or whatever they're called. They were all there. Everything was there. It wasn't even like just flat or it was all there. I was like, you got to be kidding me! It's the same stupid program. I'm bummed. I can't take advantage of Reese's for $75 thing because I haven't gotten my new hardware yet. Can I put it on iPad? No. So, what's Reese's? I don't know what that is. So, all right, here's what I'm getting. There's an app you want to get. It's on sale for $75, but you don't have the computer to download it to. Are you sure that you can't get it for $75 and just have it on account and download it later? Because downloading and buying are two different things. You don't necessarily have to download an app to buy it. You can buy it and get, because what you're buying is a license. So because you could buy a new computer in a couple of years and just download it again and then plug in the security, serial number, and so look and see. Call tech support. Ask them, can I buy it now? I don't have the computer, but I want to buy it at this $75 thing. They're not going to take your money? Of course they will. They'll sell it to you. I believe it was. I don't know. Thanks, Crimson. I forgot what you guys are talking about. Yay, so exciting. The designer is quite happy. LOL. Yes, the designer is quite happy. And me? You? I don't know. All of us. We're all happy. Yeah, you know what? You're a graphic designer, and they're out of almost 9. Do you know there's almost 900 people in this group now? I'm sure there are a couple other people who are graphic designers and Adobe things. So I'm going to do a post one of these days, probably tomorrow, about this Adobe situation and line for line what I replaced them with. I was talking about the software you were talking about on sale today. Oh, the but you said Reese's. I don't know what that means. All right, $75 for all 3. You can buy them from their website. You don't have to download them. It's Affinity. Just look it up. Affinity Designer is one of them. And Google that. Go to their website. Buy it. And they're on sale. You can buy it for Mac. You can buy it for PC. All right, we are finished. And you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and putting up with my ridiculousness and making me laugh. That was a fun one. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, so thanks very much. Robin, you've got the booby prize for... Nope. Donna, you got the booby prize for today. And I will see you guys nope. Kirsten gets the booby prize for today. Nope. Oh man. By the way, it's not who types the last comment, it's whose comment pops up on my screen last. It's got to be here on my screen. I'm using Ecamm, and there is a delay. I don't know how long the delay is, but it seems to be anywhere from like 7 to 40 something seconds, depending on things. And Donna said night all, and Amy and Donna says gimme, but Crimson was already in there with war. And here's Robin back again. Robin, you get it. Goodbye.